It's tourney time, folks. The OU side of the tournament, Big 12 tournament, I should say. Second seed West Virginia, third seed Oklahoma State, sixth seed Oklahoma, 7 Texas Tech, and 12 Kansas State. We'll preview each side of the OU bracket coming up now. Boomer Sooner 1982. Don't go away. Oklahoma and the Sooners and the Big 12 play their women's championships at Municipal Auditorium there in Kansas City. The Sooners actually favored pretty well against most of these teams on their half of the bracket. That includes numero dos, West Virginia. The Mountaineers, 19-4, 13-4 Big 12 play. They beat the Cowgirls of Oklahoma State in Morgantown, 67-59. Their head coach, Matt Carney, 1984 grad from Salem University, is in his 20th year in charge of West Virginia. Number 2, players to watch out for West Virginia, double-figure scores. 2, Kaiser Goldrich, and 12, Esmery Martinez. We'll start with Kyrie's Goldrich, 20.6 points per ball game, 2.8 boards, 4.6 assists per ball game, 22 games. 23 games for Esmery Martinez, averaging 13.9 points per ball game, 12.0 rebounds, 1.8 assists per ball game, like you said, in 23 games. That one team that Oklahoma didn't have a lot of luck against in this bracket, Oklahoma State. They're the third seed. 17-7, 13-5 in Big 12 play. Just like West Virginia beat them in Morgantown, Oklahoma beat them in Stillwater, 78-73. Their head coach, Jim Littell, 1977 grad from Southwestern College out in Kansas, and is in his 10th year in charge of the Aggies. Double-figure scores for the Cowgirls. 4, Natasha Mack. And 21, Jamae Ashbury. We'll start with Natasha Mack, averaging 19.8 points per ball game, 12.3 boards, 1.8 assists, playing in 24 games. All 24 games, it looks like. Jamae Ashbury, 17.1 points per ball game, 2.6 boards, 3.9 assists per ball game in 24 games. All 24 games, guys. Next, the Sooners of Oklahoma. 10-10, 8-9 in Big 12 play. Their best win, I'm going to say, was the win in Morgantown. That was a pretty big win for them. Their head coach, Sherry Cole, 1987 grad from Oklahoma Christian University, and is in her 24th year in charge of Oklahoma. 2 double-figure scores for OU. 25, Maddie Williams. 12, Gabby Gregory. 25, Maddie Williams. 20.0 points per ball game. 5.1 boards. 2.9 assists in 17 games. Gabby Gregory played in all 20 games, averaging 15.9 points per ball game. 4.7 boards. 1.6 assists per ball game. Following down the list, the Red Raiders of Texas Tech. 10-14, 5-13 in Big 12 play. They did beat rival Texas 86-79 they did beat Kansas State 86-79. Their head coach, Christy Gerlich, 83 grad from Tech. First year in charge of the Red Raiders. Scoring leaders for Tech, Vivian Gray and Lexi Gordon. Vivian Gray averages 20.0 points per ball game, 8.2 boards, 3.0 assists per ball game in 24 games. Lexi Gordon, 15.5 points per ball game, 4.9 boards, 1.4 assists per ball game, 24 games. Kansas State is the final game on this list. 17-5, 3-15 in Big 12 play. They did beat the aforementioned Texas Tech Red Raiders 74-66. That time in Wildcat country, the Octagon of Doom, as some call it. Their head coach Jeff Mitty is 1989 grad from Western Missouri and is in his 8th year in charge of Kansas State. Let's see. Double figures. Ioka Lee, Christina Carr. Ioka Lee averages 17.9 points per ball game, 8 boards, 0.5 assists per ball game, 20 games. Christina Lee, 14.2 points per ball game, 4.7 boards, 1.8 assists per ball game, 19 games. All right. That's for women's basketball, guys. But you know what? You can love women's basketball all you want. But if you're watching these, you know what you love. OU football. Speaking of which, bam! The podcast. The Inside OU podcast. Check this out, guys. Brady, Keegan, great job. Great job by these guys. They also have a Patreon app. It is no longer the same name. It used to be. Now it is Through the Keyhole. But if you subscribe to the Through the Keyhole app, let me tell you what you get. Brady and Keegan will bring you a post-game podcast during football season. And during non-football season, which is like right now or so, an extra podcast will be just for us Patreon people. Just for us. Also, but that's only for $4. But for an extra 100 cents, an extra $1 per month, Keegan will break down film for you, just as a coach would. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching. My name's Harry James. Enjoy the tournaments. You can watch this and all my other videos. YouTube, Boomer Sooner 1982. Also, Facebook, Harry James Sailor. Or on the Twitter, @I'mInHarry. Alright, guys. Thanks for watching Boomer Sooner. I'm out of here. Peace!